Being in the youth sports business is not an easy task. So today I'm going to go over the 25 avenues of income that I created in a little 3,500 square foot facility for our baseball academy. My name is Jessie Rodriguez Melendez, and I am the proud owner of Sports Boss. I concentrate on working with youth sports entrepreneurs to build, scale, and create a business if they're wanting to use their expertise to take their passion and turn it into profits. And so today I'm going to talk about the 25 avenues of income that you can create using your skills to create more profit for yourself and also create a bigger impact. And so I'm going to jump right in. And usually, starting out, most coaches, most youth sports coaches start out doing one on one training sessions, meaning that they will work one on one to teach. Um, an athlete a specific skill or drill or training. They usually will work by hourly basis. So they use a calendar where they schedule themselves to work with athletes, usually on a 1 hour basis, sometimes half hour, sometimes 45 minutes. So that's usually how most sports coaches start. Youth sports coaches, but I'm going to delve into some of the other areas where you can start to scale your business and you can start to create bigger impact in your communities, in your teams, in your organizations, um, and also create more impact and income. Okay, so we're going to start with then grouping. So you take the athletes that you're actually working with and you start to group them. Okay, and you can create clinics out of that. And that's where you can do a variety of different things. You can work with them on a specific skill, you can do drills, you can do strength and conditioning, you can do, depending on your sport, if you're able to work with, groups of people, then you can turn those into clinics. And that's another avenue of income. So if you were working before one on one with some, athlete, and let's say you were charging them, to keep the numbers simple, $50 an hour, and suddenly you're working with three, you went from making $50 an hour to making $150 an hour. And so that quickly in that same hour, you have now tripled your income. Okay, so you can certainly do it that way. You can do specialized clinics. Okay, so for example, we were in the baseball business. We used to run specialized clinics and we would do specifics. So, like pitching, catching, hitting, right? Those were some of the big ones that we would get. But you could certainly do it if you're in volleyball. You can do it for setting. You could do it for defense. You could do it, for libero. So you can specialize a clinic and work specifically with athletes that are wanting to build that specific skill. Okay. The other big one for us were summer camps, or any kind of camp. We used to run holiday camps, summer camps, spring break camp, 1 day camps. We used to do Black Friday camp for those parents that were looking for an opportunity to drop off the kids and go shopping. So you can certainly build camps around holidays or specific days. Okay, so another one that we created were teams. We did travel teams, and then from that, we actually created sort of like a league for ourselves. So you can start with one team, build yourself really strongly in that one team, and then you can add teams by hiring on more coaches and creating more teams for yourself. I would certainly say in this specific regard, start with one team, really go through all the bumps and bruises, learn how to do it really well, and then you can build. From my personal experience, we built too quickly. We went from having one team 1 year and doing phenomenal and traveling with the team and taking them to Puerto Rico and, winning championships and all that fun stuff, to the very next year going from 1 to 10. And so, there were a lot of things that we needed to learn in between, and we probably should have went from 1 to like 3, but we jumped all the way in and we had 10, and there were a lot of things that we had to learn through that. And from that, you can actually build out yet another avenue, which is not for income, but it certainly will benefit your teams. And that is where you can do a nonprofit arm to your business. And that's something that I will certainly delve into if others are interested in that and you'd like me to discuss how, share how I did that and teach exactly how to get it done. That's something that I can certainly do. You can then set up tournaments. So you can do tournaments against other teams. And we had 5 locations which we used to run tournaments from, New York and Texas and Florida and Puerto Rico. So you can certainly do tournaments, and that will certainly lead to another avenue of income for you. And I'm sort of rushing through these because, I could literally get into any one of these topics and really break them down. And if that's something that some of you are interested in, I will certainly do that. Just leave a comment for me, and I will be sure to really delve into some of these for you. The other one was an after school program. And so you can set up after school programs right in your, let's say your area, your district, with schools. You can collaborate with schools. That's something that I'll talk about a little bit later with JV opportunities, joint venture opportunities. After school programs, you can certainly do that with. And you can do it with pickup or without pickup, where parents drop them off or the school drops them off to you, or where you provide transportation, which now can again provide more avenues of income for you. You can set up showcases where you again collaborate with, let's say, a college recruiter, and you can do college and semi-pro kind of showcases where some of the guys come in and they showcase their talents, and help kids find college opportunities. Another one which I touched on when I first started the podcast was strength and conditioning programs, where you focus specifically a program that's strength and conditioning, so that your athletes, any well conditioned athlete, is going to be a better athlete. And so, if you don't have a strength and conditioning program, this is certainly one that you will want to consider. But you do want to be, a professional in it. If not, you want to hire professionals that really understand strength and conditioning and can really build out a good program for you. Okay. The other one, if you have a facility, you can facilitate family training programs. So programs where they come in as a family and they're training together. If you have the space for that, we used to have a gym in the back, that had weights, and we used to provide family training programs for families. Now, it worked out great if they were going to sit there for an hour and or an hour and a half for their child to get their training, then it just seemed like the perfect opportunity for them to go and train as well. So they sort of got a lot of things done within our facility by, joining some of our family training programs, and while their child was getting their training, they were training as well. How high school and college forums. Okay, this is where you set up forums where professionals come in and teach your athletes the college recruiting process. Okay, like how to fill out their paperwork, how to get scholarships, how to fill out the forms for FAFSA, all of those things that are really important to families and to athletes. You could set up forums. You can charge for those forums, but obviously, it's a very beneficial resource to provide for your athletes. For us, batting cages became really essential, and we used to rent out our cages, although we didn't love to do it. I'm just going to be honest. We had tunnels, and we would rent those tunnels for as batting cages. If you have a specific sport, let's say you do tennis, and you can rent out your tennis courts to those that are looking to get extra training, and and a parent wants to rent your court. Basketball, that would be another one. So you can certainly rent your space. Okay, is my point with that. Rentals of your space for other than just athletes. If you want to rent it to corporations, corporations love to do team building events, and so sometimes renting your facility would be a great way to do that. Incorporate some activity, and they also get to do some training and use it as a meeting perhaps for their organizations, but certainly that could be another avenue of income. Birthday parties was wonderful for us. We used to do birthday parties in our facility, and we would facilitate obviously by providing our facility if they just wanted to use it for the birthday party. But if they wanted to theme the birthday party to the sport, then you can provide training, or some fun activities, and then provide some food, pizza, whatever would accommodate athletes and you can actually have that serve as one of your avenues of income within your facility. Another one would be gift certificates. We used to sell tons of gift certificates, a lot of them during the holiday season, or anyone wanting to give the gift of training. For us, again, specifically, it was baseball, but you could do this for any sport. You could do it for, hockey. You could do it for lacrosse. You could do it for golf. You could do it for swimming. You could do it for gymnastics, right? So gift certificates are a great way to create another avenue of income. Player recruitment videos were wonderful for us, because the player recruitment videos meant that we were actually shooting the video, then we would have to edit the video, we would put it together as a package for the athlete, and then we could even take it a step further. And if we wanted to create the player video, the recruitment video, and then actually, set up a convenient way for them to market the video, that was another avenue of income for us. And it really served the athlete and really made a difference for them. Okay. College recruitment events where you have college coaches come to see your athletes specifically. Those were events that we would do. And I was actually one of the first people to actually stream it live. And so if the coaches couldn't physically get to our facility, they got to view our athletes by streaming. And they would actually point out athletes and say, "Oh, I'd like to see more of number 71, or I'd like to see more of, number, 99." And it was all because I was able to stream it for those coaches that couldn't physically get to us. Okay. Apparel, if you have the space and you want to set up a pro shop, or swag boxes if you have teams, quarterly swag boxes for parents and players. So if you had a season and you wanted to create apparel boxes so that parents can buy, the apparel so that they could represent their child and the organization or the team, that was another great way to do that. Um, Another great avenue of income for us was photographs. We used to hire a photographer and they would come in and they would take professional photos of the athletes, and they would then sell them to the families. We never really took any revenue for the photos. What we used to ask them to do was to make a donation to our teams so that when our kids would travel, that was a nice way for them to sort of fundraise for the team. And so it was a win-win-win, right? The photographer got to sell some of their packages, the athlete and the family got to keep some of those memories and the keepsakes, and then they also used to make a donation to the team. So it was a really great way to do it. Smoothies and supplements. If you have a pro shop, you may want to consider adding to your pro shop by selling smoothies and supplements directly to the athletes. JV opportunities, which I spoke about a little bit earlier, but in that is college recruitment and setting yourselves up with a joint venture for college recruitment. Another one would be maybe some apparel stores that are in your area. Those would be great joint venture opportunities. Um, you know, Joint venture opportunities with other sports facilities or other sports minded organizations within your area. That those are great JV opportunities where you say to them, listen, why don't we joint venture? And for any athlete that comes to you that's basketball and comes to us for tennis, then whenever someone asks for basketball coaches, we can refer them to you and vice versa. Okay, so those are sort of joint venture opportunities, and you can work out some kind of deal. Like if we get X amount of players come to us, we will give them X amount off from your organization, and we'd like to sort of do the same, vice versa. Uh, Customize equipment and gear, another great avenue of income. If you guys haven't considered it, you can actually, find some manufacturer that creates equipment specifically to your sport and get them customized with players' names or the logos or their numbers. And obviously, you work out something with the manufacturer where it's let's say they charge you X amount of dollars, and then you turn around and you can sell that equipment to your players and families. Okay. Family fun nights. We used to do those a lot. And those were, again, more served to the teams where we would use them as team fundraising events, but they worked out really well. And if you're looking for ways to create, fundraisers for your teams, this is something to consider because family fun nights were great. We did bubble games. We would do bingo nights. We would do dance nights. We would movie nights, anything that sort of generated some income for the teams. But you can actually use that to market your organization. Whenever you're having an event, you can market and say anyone who attends the event tonight and their child wants to join any of our programs are going to get X amount off if you do it by X date. Okay. You always want to use an expiration date for any of your marketing efforts. Um, I'm going to leave homeschools for last. I'll talk about that one in a minute. But facility rentals, which I have spoken about, and joint ventures, again, think about those in your area that are already, using sports or doing sports or have other sports organizations or teams or facilities, and see how you might be able to joint venture with them. And so now I'm going to jump into that last one that I just spoke about, which was homeschools. And that was a really big one for us. I actually created the first ever baseball homeschool in the Northeast. And that meant that our players were actually homeschooled through our facility, through our organization, which meant that we became school. And although we were not educators, what we did was we joint ventured with a phenomenal online Christian school, and our kids were enrolled in the school. They were able to log in every day online and they would attend their classes. And the beauty about that, for those of us that have run, any kind of organization, a team specifically, or you're wanting to get your athletes exposure, this program was such a great fit because it allowed the athlete to go to school anywhere we were. So, for example, we moved our kids down to Tampa from New York. They were able to live on site for 10 months out of the year with us. They used to log into school, attend their classes probably 4 to 6 hours a day. And the rest of the time, we were able to go out and train them and get them equipped and ready for when we wanted to showcase them to colleges. And I have to say, it was a huge success, the program. Then COVID came. And luckily for those kids, they never missed out. They got to actually attend school 100% online. They graduated on time. Um, and they were also kept up with their training. So it just was such a great, great opportunity for these kids to literally go to school anywhere that we chose. If we wanted to take them to Puerto Rico, they would just take their laptop and they would literally log into school for that day. They would take their classes. And then the rest of the day, they were available to us. If they wanted to switch their hours where they wanted to go to school maybe that evening, and get their practice in early, we were able to do that because they, as long as they got their work in for the day, anytime during the day, that day, they were able to participate in the activities that we had scheduled for them. They were able to hit the gym every day. They were able to get all of their, classwork done, their reports, any homework, any of that stuff, because they didn't feel the pressure of if sitting in a classroom for the day. So one to consider if you're wanting to add this as a really great dynamic program into any of your facilities or your programs or your organization. Okay, so I really hope that some of this has served some of you out there. Be sure to, click subscribe, hit the notification bell. So anytime that I go, that I upload any video, you guys be the first ones to know. Stay tuned for Sports Boss Apparel that's coming soon. And as you can see, we are streaming through StreamYard. I have linked I have put the link in the description for you below if this is something that you want to do for yourselves and you want to use this type of platform. StreamYard is great. I've actually left that link for you guys in the description. I look forward to bringing more content for you and creating more of these videos that hopefully help you guys